Marcus Aurelius is the world's most famous Stoic philosopher, and the philosophy of Stoicism promises some pretty incredible things. First of all, it promises that if you follow it, you're going to be able to make the correct decisions every single time. And also you're going to live a tranquil life, is the word they use a lot, and a life that's just filled of balance, where everything just fits in its right place. Now these things are quite extreme and everyone wants to live a life like that. So to put it to the test, I decided to do Marcus Aurelius' evening routine every single day for 28 days and see what happened. It's important to note that everything I'm doing here, the 6 concepts I'm going to talk about, is taken from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, which is the private journal that he used to have. And if you're looking for the best translation of that, you can find it by clicking the link in the description. Also, if you enjoy this video at any point in time, then make sure you just give it a like by clicking the like rating. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. And finally, we're going to be talking about the 6 things that I did every single evening for the past 28 days. And finally, we're going to talk about the benefits after we talk about the 6 things and how they actually changed my life. So the first thing I did every single evening was what the Stoics called contemplation of the sage. And in Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, he would often ask himself the question, what would Zeno do? And it doesn't matter who you're looking up to. For Marcus Aurelius, Zeno was the person he looked up to, but for you it can be anyone. And the point of doing this is that the person that you're looking up to has some character traits that you want to have, which means that when it comes down to making a decision as your day goes by, you can simply ask yourself the question, what would the person I'm looking up to do in this decision? And you're disassociating yourself from the decision. You're not letting your emotions dictate, but instead you're deciding what's best for you and acting upon that relentlessly. Now, I've actually taken this one step further, and I think an even better exercise is to simply compare yourself to your ideal character traits. Because I think instead of comparing yourself to someone else or where someone else is today, you should be comparing yourself to where you were yesterday. So my life philosophy is very, very simple, and I'll quickly explain it to you right here. First of all, you define exactly what you want in life. Then you define who you need to become in order to achieve that dream life easily. Then you define where you are now, the kind of person you are now, and then simply every single day you try to get from where you are now closer towards the kind of person you want to be. So I've listed out a long list of character traits of the kind of person that I want to be, and for my contemplation of the sage, whenever a decision would come up, or in the evening, I would simply dream about this kind of person, and that helped me make the correct decisions throughout my day. The second thing is called a view from above. Put very simply, it's where you view yourself from a third person point of view, similar to as if you're playing a video game. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this. First of all, you zoom out and you see yourself from third person, and you keep zooming out until you see, I don't know, the street around you. You keep zooming out until you see the city around you, and you keep zooming out, keep zooming out, keep zooming out until you can see the whole world. And the point of doing this is meant to put everything in perspective. When you can look around and you can notice the people that are having the first kisses, or notice the people that are starving in a different country, everything, all of your problems that you constantly think about are put in perspective. Because when you recognize that everyone else has problems just as big as you, then your perspective on things completely change. You're not going to want to complain, you're wanting to make the most out of your life, and so on and so on. But there's also a second way of doing it, and that is similar to the first exercise we talked about, and that is as you're going on or out about your day, view yourself as if you're playing a video game and that you are simply a character. What this does is, again, you're disassociating yourself from your emotions. And this sounds bad, but you can actually see a lot of benefits from it. Because when there's times that you want to procrastinate, there's times you want to be lazy, by simply viewing yourself as if you were a character, it gives you so much more control over the actions that you take. Instead of being at the whims of the environment around you or the emotions that you're feeling, instead take control of yourself by viewing yourself from a third person and make the correct decisions that way. I do this again and again and again throughout my life, and especially in the past 28 days, and I've noticed a huge benefit, which again we'll talk about at the end of this video. The third thing is simply physical exercise. Marcus Aurelius noticed the importance of physical exercise, not just because you look better. In fact, he even looked down upon that because he was saying that if you exercise to look better, that's just you being vain. But also because the more you work on your body, the better you'll be able to work on your mind. The body and mind are very closely linked. Marcus Aurelius noticed that. So for this experiment, I was working out every single day closer towards the evening. And number 4 is meditation. And this is going to be an interesting point, and probably not one that you've ever heard of before. I'm not just going to be talking about the Buddhist meditation, but there's actually another benefit of meditation that I started to notice as I was doing this 28-day exercise. And when you start meditating, there'll be times where you'll feel an itch, and at the start you go and you itch it straight away. But with time and hours of meditation, you recognize that that itch, you don't have to itch it, and you can control your body. And although it might be tempting to go and scratch that itch, the more you meditate, the more you learn that it's actually beneficial to not scratch that itch. And with time, the itch just disappears in and of itself. Why is this important? Because with time and meditation, you can learn to control your body to not scratch that itch. But that is exactly the same thing that you can do when you're out in the real world. For example, you're in a meeting and everyone around you is just getting snappy, and someone says a comment to you and it makes you angry. That itch you feel to snap back is very similar to the physical itch you feel when you're meditating. But just like meditation can practice your ability to not scratch that itch, in the real world, practicing meditation can stop you from acting on that itch to shout out and have an argument with the other person. The example gets applied to all of these different things, but I noticed that meditating, and this is something that Marcus Aurelius noted, meditating lets you control your actions to a far greater degree than anything else that I've ever found. And controlling your actions is just so important. Activity number 5 that I did for the past 28 days is simply reviewing the day. Now this is something I've actually been doing for a lot longer than 28 days, but I've been emphasizing it and making sure that I spent a lot of time doing it because it's something that Marcus Aurelius mentioned and he said it was very, very important. Now, why would you review your day? Or before why, what do you mean when you say review the day? It's simply sitting in the evening and thinking back on the day. What happened? What do you remember? What went well? What didn't go well? It's just simply thinking about the day as it went by, as chronologically as you can. Why would you do this? Well, there's 3 benefits. First of all, by remembering your day, you're able to congratulate yourself for the things that you did well. And why would you want to congratulate yourself? Well, because when you congratulate yourself, your body's more likely to do that thing again. Just like when you train a dog, he does something good, you give it a treat, it's more likely to do it again. If you sit down and you take the time to congratulate yourself for the things that you did well, you're more likely to do it again. Second benefit is you're able to identify the problems that you did, where you went wrong. And if you pinpoint and select and highlight the things that you did wrong, you know exactly what you need to fix the next day. Whereas if you don't review your day, you end up forgetting about it. Your brain makes rationalizations for why that thing happened and you just ignore it. The third benefit is you're able to see how far forward from your goals you are getting. Are you on track to reach your goals? Are you not on track? Do you need to do something different? Reviewing your day will let you do that as well. And reviewing my day for the past 28 days, and when I mean reviewing, I mean taking a solid 5-minute period to sit back and think, right, what happened, what happened, what happened? That has been a great benefit to me, and I'm able to improve my life again and again and again, every single day, make those 1% improvements that we all know matter so much. And finally, journaling. Journaling will change your life. If you can simply get the habit of journaling, your life will be absolutely changed. Now, the last video I made was about journaling, and that video is going to show you, first of all, how to journal, but then second of all, how to actually keep the habit of journaling. If you want to watch that, then it's up in one of these corners. Go ahead and click that link, and it's an incredible video. Now, finally, let's get on to how these 6 exercises has impacted my life. First of all, I feel happier. There is no other way to describe it than happiness or fulfillment. Basically, from what I've been doing, I just feel happier in general. And I think this is from 2 different reasons. First of all, these 6 things that I've been doing have made me a more effective person. The journaling and the reviewing my day helps me solve the problems that I'm having in my life. I get more done. And as you know, getting more done is deep rooted within us to give us fulfillment. Also, the meditation has been scientifically proven to increase happiness. So that's the first benefit. Second benefit, less stress. Things just feel like they're taken care of. I don't have so many nagging worries of, oh, I need to do this thing. Oh, I should have done that thing better. No, it's disappeared. Instead, I'm content with my time. I'm content with what I did for the day. Because also, no time gets wasted. Well, very little gets time wasted. I feel like a machine, getting stuff done at a rate I have never achieved before. These 28 days has completely pivoted my life because I've been so much more disciplined with myself. So much more focused on the things I need to do. I outlined 6 things I need to do on a day-to-day basis, and it's impacted me, and it's impacted my productivity a ridiculous amount. Third of all, I have more energy. I feel like my momentum is taking me to crazy places. I feel like my future is going to be brighter than it's ever been before. I've moved so much, I've got so much done, I've taken so much action, and so much has happened. The results I've been getting have been insane, and it's giving me this momentum that's just carrying me forward like a huge tidal wave. Like, I think that's the only way I can describe it. I feel like I've built the habit so much that there's this tidal wave that's just pushing me towards where I want to be, and it's so exciting. And that excitement is what's giving me all of this energy. It's like a reoccurring cycle. When you start to make improvements in your life, more other beneficial things happen to you, which encourage you to make more improvements, which means more beneficial things happen to you, and so on and so on and so on, until you get this crazy exponential curve. And I feel like I'm right at the beginning of that curve. And finally, I don't know if you've been able to tell, but my confidence feels through the roof. When things get done, I feel confident. It's simple. If you lack confidence, there's a couple of options. Number one, you can try trick your brain into thinking you're good at doing things. Second of all, you can just get stuff done. And when you get stuff done, you prove to your brain, you give it physical evidence, you can reach your goals. And when you reach your goals, you get more confidence, which makes you set bigger goals. And that confidence helps you to reach those goals. And again, it's the exponential curve, and I feel like I'm right at the beginning. If you want to join me on this crazy journey and you want to improve your life day by day by day, then go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you give it a like. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I really, really appreciate it. Finally, let me know down in the comment section which one of these exercises were your favorite, and also if you are going to start doing Marcus Aurelius's evening routine. Thank you so much for watching.